Can we have your attention, please? We're going to start up shortly. Good evening, and welcome to the Lowell Planning Board for Monday, June 17th, 2019. Tonight, we do have two public matters on. Prior to that, we have the minutes of approval for June 3rd, 2019. Any comments on the minutes? If not, we can have a motion for approval.
I'll move to approve.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll move to approve them.
I'll second.
Motion made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, chair votes yes. Those minutes are approved. 4 in favor and none against. Moving along on the agenda, next matter we have is a site plan review, 157 Barica Street. An application was submitted by Clo LLC for site plan review for the proposed project located at 157 Barica Street. The applicant is proposing to construct 3 residential townhouses on the subject of above. The existing site has a single-family structure which will remain. The subject property is located in suburban multifamily zoning district. May we hear from the applicant, please?
Good evening, Chairman. For the record, Matt Hammer with Lamplex Engineering, 10 George Street, Lowell. We've gone through and addressed on a plan change yet to be submitted to DPD all the comments that were provided in the municipal comments letters. The two that have not been addressed are the architectural elevations. We thought we were going to have the architectural elevations last week. We're still pressing to get those. I haven't received those, and because we haven't received those and there was a comment related to some of the asphalts in the electrical easement, and it was requested by DPD that we get something of acknowledgement from the electric company related to that work proposed in the easement. When we read the easement, it shows that we can do what we're proposing to do, but Christine McCall from DPD has given me a contact information for that, for the electric company, and we will be contacting them to get some correspondence back from them. So we were requesting a continuance to the meeting in July. I have that as July 15th.
So also, did you get the comments that we received most recently? They're not dated, so I'm not sure. One says they think now that you might need a variance.
I saw that. It was to the existing setback to the existing building. If we do in fact need a variance for that, then we would go before the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Okay.
I believe there's also a question on the lot width. It's my understanding that the lot width needs to meet this lot width requirement for the required lot area in the district. And it wasn't to apply with this little leg that we had going back to the river, because if that was the case, then we would just take that leg and create a non-buildable lot. But the lot width and the lot depth for the land area per dwelling unit would comply with that. So we're going to need to get some clarification with the building commissioner on that.
Okay.
And if in fact we do need a variance for that setback, I mean, we could just chop off the end of the building, which we don't want to do. If we need it, so we will go to the Zoning Board of Appeals for that setback if it's determined by the building commission that we needed to go and do that. But we feel as though we're simply extending an 8-inch to a 2-inch water line down. They mounted a hydrant out in front. We've labeled 2 shade trees that we're going to put out in front of the property. If you notice, the traffic engineering comments were minor. In fact, they said it was a good idea to have an entrance and a separate egress. So the traffic engineer thought that the layout was good on their end. The wastewater said that the drainage was adequate. You know, like we did on Highland Street, I don't know if you recall, that was a narrow circumstance where a truck, you know, they can still get back there, but it didn't meet the NFPA, the National Fire Protection Association requirement to having a required 20-foot width. And as you recall, the buildings in the rear, we sprinkler those buildings. So we would simply do that to the 2 units in the rear on that. There was a question related to a stream that's down the street, and we've now updated a plan that shows that we are greater than the 100 feet from that stream also. So that came up as a most recent comment.
Yeah, I saw that here, they said maybe conservation?
Yeah, we don't, we're gonna provide an updated plan that shows that the wetland's about 140 feet away from where the development is.
Right, yeah, because the new note we got was the applicant will be required to submit a filing to, excuse me, local conservation commission, subject property is located within 100 feet of the border of vegetated wetlands, which are across the street.
It looked as though it was within 100, so I spoke to Ms. McCall. I have a plan updated back to her that shows that we're greater than the 100 feet.
All right, so just obviously a couple of things that were pointed
Yeah,
out
just
to
a
us
few-
now, so we might as well mention them while we're here, so.
Sure, why not?
Back
Yeah.
on the 7:15, yeah, know
Yeah.
what we've received, so.
But I go through the comments and I don't see anything of real substance other than this lot width requirement that could pose a problem if it was deemed that we would need a special permit from the planning board, because otherwise I would have filed that at the beginning.
Right.
I still contend that the intention of that lot width was to make sure that the lot width was that required width for what a conforming lot would be. Not little legs of a parcel that are always relevant, because you could just chop them off and create non-buildable lots, as you know,
Like
Attorney
the old,
Linehan.
what they used to call them, the old pork chop lots, right?
Yeah. So we don't want to create these non-buildable lots, right? So I'll confirm this with the building commissioner. I've been through this many times in terms of this calculation, and it's been known, and maybe you can weigh in on this, that the required area needs to be compliant.
Right.
Anything additional could have some non-compliances to it, but in order to eliminate that, you could cut those off. So we're gonna wait to get some correspondence back on that, and I'm really hoping that I have some architectural drawings so that I can show you how great these units are gonna look.
And there are some fire department issues, aren't there, Mark?
Well, the fire department issues were talked about, creating a yard hydrant, which we'll do. We would sprinkle the rear building.
All right, whatever.
Yeah, so, we feel as though, that these are minor, in my mind, not minor to the people who wrote the comments, but easily overcome. What's not easily overcome is this lot width, which we just went through,
Right,
and,
because the lot with stays basically the same, yeah.
Right.
Some things you can change, sometimes you can't change that, but.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, unless you change parts of the lot, but. Okay, so, there is a request for the matter to be continued to the July 15th date. What's the request of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we continue the hearing until July 15th.
We have a second on that?
Second.
Second, okay. Motion made and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes yes. The vote is four in favor, none again.
thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, moving along on the agenda, the next matter we have is 153 Westford Street.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Just read the announcement, please, sir. Thank you. Okay. We have a site plan review for 153 Westford Street. Actually, for the planning board, it's going to be a special permit. An application was submitted by West Great Development, Inc., seeking a special permit approval to convert an existing building at the above address into 4 dwelling units. The applicant is seeking to reinstate previous approvals from the board that lapsed before work was commenced. The property is in a traditional neighborhood multifamily zoning district and requires a special permit under Article 12, Table of Uses, for any relief request of the zoning ordinance. Can you state your name and address for the record, please, sir?
Yes, my name is Tan Pham, 540 Lowell Street, Andover, Mass. Basically, I bought the property, and I was told that it's a 4 families. But after I bought it, I was trying to apply for a building permit, but they said the special permit or something, it was approved and then it's elapsed or something.
Right.
So I have to go back and get it reinstated. So I hope the decision from 2017 or something will get reinstated so I can start renovated and as soon as possible so I can get it put back to use and, make the neighborhood look nicer and.
See, when a special permit is granted, it's good for a period of 2 years. And if the person who got the special permit hasn't started any work on the project, then it lapses.
Oh, I did not know
Or that
that.
person who requested the special permit could come in with a 2-year period and ask that we extend the special permit. So usually, if they've already started renovating the project, then the time hasn't lapsed. Once you start working on it, as they say legally, the time is tolled, which means it stops. And then they have time to complete it. So in this case, it seems like they sold it to you with a special permit, but they didn't fix it, so now you need to request a special permit. Am I correct? Yeah. So now you're
I
here.
believe so. I did not know that.
Yeah,
until
that's
now.
how it works, so, we were here when he came in before, and, obviously we deal with these, but I don't know how often you deal with them, but we deal with them on a regular basis, so. But, I do know that we received a couple of comments here, which we'll get to in a minute, and, just a couple of things have changed since the special permit had been approved, and a couple of conditions that some, staff departments have requested be done due to the fact that, some of the code changes have changed between now and then, so. Is there anything else you'd like to add at this time, sir?
No.
Okay, so at this time, I have to see if anybody in the public wants to speak. So I'm open up to the public, see if anybody here in the audience wants to speak, because it's a public hearing. So I'm not asking anybody here want to speak in favor? Anybody in favor? In favor? Hearing none. At this point, I'll open up to anybody in opposition. In opposition, in opposition. Hearing none. And one thing I forgot to mention is, so since you need a special permit, you would need all 4 votes by our board members.
Okay.
Since we are absent, a member this evening, because you're entitled to have 5 board members here. And if you'd want to wait until we have 5 members, it'd be up to yourself, or if you're comfortable going before us 4, we could go forward tonight. So that's an option we give you, once we know that we're down a member. So if you'd prefer to go forward this evening, we'll continue to go forward. If you want us to continue it, we will. But if you feel comfortable tonight, we'll go forward.
Yeah, I would prefer to go
Okay, all
forward
right,
tonight if
all right.
possible, because
Right.
just as I said, I would
No problem.
like to,
Yeah, we just try to let you know that, so if we're down one, we give you the benefit of doubt and say, hey, if we're short up, it's not your fault, and we give you the opportunity either way.
I
Okay?
understand.
So since you want to go forward, and we've had no one here this evening in the public speak either way on your project, at this time, I'm going to turn it over to any of the board members. They may have a couple of comments or questions of you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so at this time, I'll turn it over to any of the board members who have any comments.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I have a comment on the site plan that's been submitted about the stacked parking. Show. Somebody with a
What is that again? Sorry.
You talked about the parking.
Yes,
parking that you're showing.
we plan to demolish because the parking, to make it 8 spaces. So it will be enough.
Right, so once the garage is torn down,
Yes.
you'll lay that out.
Yes, because that's the requirement of the building department. So we demolish it, make 4 more spaces, so it will be total of 8 spaces, and the landscape fences.
You understand that that type of parking, which is called stacked parking, is really not admissible. We kind of frown
Yeah.
on that.
He talks about in this, the stacked parking is, one car in front and one behind it, so the person who's parked in the front can't get out if the other person was there.
I don't believe we have to do that because the length of it is enough.
Yeah.
That's fine, as
Yeah.
long as it's shown
Yes,
Okay.
on a
Yes.
future plan, that, yes,
yes.
that's fine. That's all I have.
Okay. Dick, any questions?
Yeah, you are, I'm glad to see that since the last time this permit was applied for, the decision has been made to take down the garage and put the parking in a much better conforming configuration. That was something we had talked about at the last time, and the previous applicant was not interested in doing that for whatever reason. That being said, so I'm pleased to see that. I think that's a good thing. I just want to make sure that you are aware and have seen the comments from staff which refer to the comments from both the building and the fire departments in terms of the codes that you will be required to meet.
Yes, I believe, yes. So we will put in the sprinkler system and, for the entire building. I believe it is included in the plan, the last 2 pages. So we will comply with that because it's a 4 families. Even though it's a small one, we understand that that's something we will have to do.
And that's a good safety reason for you as well as anybody living there, you know?
Yes, it's
And I know you have a fire hydrant right in front of the house.
Yes, cheaper insurance.
Yeah. And I know the fire hydrant's right in front too, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, when I pulled up there yesterday, I'm like, oh, I don't want to pull in front of the fire hydrant, tried to back up and block the driveway, but nobody was in the driveway, so.
Okay, that's all I have, as long as you're, aware of and, in agreement with complying with them.
Yes.
We would make that, I would propose that we make that a condition of the
Yes.
permit, but I
Yes.
think you're all set on
I understand.
Thank you. Caleb, any questions or comments?
Yes, Chairman. So the plan submitted is still showing the stack parking. I understand that the intent is different now. The new plan is with the parking garage removed, and also the stack parking will now be like, I assume according to the illustration, it will be perpendicular to the driveway. So just a question to staff, and also like whether it will be a problem if we can approve the project according to narrative, but not with a reflective site plan.
I mean, you can, as long as it's specific, I think, and if you want to approve something that's saying, approving the intent to demolish the garage, to provide for the parking that is compliant for a 4-family structure, I think you can. Yeah, I guess you don't necessarily have to approve of the plan as shown
Okay,
with the application.
thank you. And okay, I got clarification on that. And just going on to some other comments that the staff have noted. The staff have noted that the fire hydrant, the work on the fire hydrant have not completed. It's missing granite curb, and currently there's an asphalt sidewalk patch that need to be replaced
Yes.
with the proper sidewalk kind
Yes.
of requirement.
Yes, I read that comments too, and obviously, once we put a permit, that will be addressed. It has to,
Okay.
because otherwise, we won't get we won't get the occupancy permit. So, yeah, that will be addressed when we start doing the sprinkler system. Yep.
All right, thank you. And also the same for fencing. I mean, I think the previous decision when this was last approved mentioned have a condition of fencing and also a landscaping plan to be submitted to the DPD. Since it's a new permit, I wonder whether that should be a condition as well. Since, I mean,
Yes, I'm okay with that being the condition because we're planning to do that landscape anyway.
okay.
Because I read the decision from the previous decision, and I expect to comply with all the requests. The demolish the garage, make more parking spaces, which is I think it will be 8 or more, and then the landscape work, which is the fencing, the fence,
Okay.
Yep, just
All right.
like. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate your willingness to comply with the request, the
Yes.
earlier request. And that's all I have, Chairman.
Okay, thank you. I do like the fact that you're getting rid of the garage to get the extra parking. I think, you know, it really enhances the site.
Yes, I believe so too.
I mean, that was a question we really stumbled with last time, and since it was before us just for a special permit, we left those questions alone, which actually go before the zoning board of appeals for variances. Because under us, for the request, you know, for minimum lot size and frontage and all that, those are all the variances that the zoning board of appeals will address. So the issue before us was the special permit, so we addressed that. But I do like to see the fact that now, taking that garage down, really opens up that site. You can get a lot more parking in there, and I think it's gonna be a nicer site once that garage is down, I really do.
Yes, after the garage taken down, I believe compared to all the properties in the area, it has the most parkings.
Yeah, right. And it's, and you don't get a real, and you, you really lose one spot in front of the house with the fire hydrant there too. You know,
Yeah.
But then people say, I'm parking in front of my house, well, actually, I don't know if it's pictured here, but I know it's right in the front there, so you can't park right in front because of the fire hydrant. I think
Yep.
from there up to your driveway, you wouldn't have enough room for a car. So you lose an on-street parking spot. I mean, you don't pick up an on-street one, so to help with the extra units, so. But besides that, I mean, I have no problems, you know, as long as you have the sprinkler system, you know, update the landscape plan, demolish the garage, you know, and then which helps meet the parking requirements and also fixing the sidewalk as requested. I think if you complete with those, I don't have a problem with the project.
No, I don't either. So
And-
the sidewalk improvement is simply replacing that small asphalt area
Yeah, so what it says here,
with concrete and then
yeah.
providing the curbing.
Yes,
engineering department has submitted comments asking the applicant to complete the sidewalk and street work that the previous applicant started, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I see a piece of the curb actually on the lawn. I don't wonder whether it's the original piece or not. It's on the lawn next to the fire hydrant.
Okay.
So you might take note of that.
yes, yeah, we'll, just as I said, because when we do the sprinkler system, we will address all that. We have to,
Okay.
because,
Any further questions from the board, or?
One thing I just wanted to clarify is
Sure.
if the landscape plan and the plan showing demolition of the garage, that could be also like a condition that eventually we see a plan prior to
Mhm.
issuance of a building permit or something
Sure.
like that.
sure. Yes, I'm okay with that, because that was in the requirement for the approval, the last approval, that was the
Yeah, I
requirement.
mean, you know, right. Okay, what's the request of the board? And, go ahead, Mr. Snetsky.
Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion to approve the special permit for use of the property with the following conditions. The original condition of a landscape plan being submitted to DPD for approval, you know, prior to the beginning of the project. That the garage will be demolished and parking, you know, 8 parking spaces to be per the rendering, and a formal plan to be submitted to DPD prior to application for a building permit. That all conditions put forth by both the building department and the fire department to comply with current code be met. And that the engineering department comments regarding the completion of the sidewalk and the curb be met.
Yes,
And just a comment under that, fire department, that would include the 100% sprinkler system, correct?
what's that?
I mean, so the comment under the fire department, I'm saying, that will include the sprinkler system, which you said you would put in.
Yes.
Don't mind amending that?
Sure.
Okay,
Chairman and
sure.
Member Snitsky, just wondering if the fencing is considered, or I was just wondering.
I think that was covered under the landscape plan. It was
Okay.
gonna be screened with landscaping, is that?
Yes,
the
I believe so,
understanding?
yep.
You
All right,
understand
thank
it?
you.
Okay,
So I can include, if you want, if it's agreeable to the board, is just including mentioning the fencing in the landscape plan when
Okay.
they submit that.
as amended?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Sure. So Mr. Snetsky, you put in to meet the landscaping plan with fencing?
And fencing.
Fencing, all right. So I think the conditions were basically, on the landscaping plan with fencing, demolish the garage to help meet the parking requirements. And then he said, fixing the sidewalk, and then go along with the building department and the fire department approvals, as well as the sprinkler system.
Yes.
And I think that covered all of it, am I right, Dick?
And then the engineering comments.
Oh, and the engineering comments, yeah,
And
I'm
the
right.
engineering department with the
Yeah,
curb
yeah.
and sidewalk.
Right, okay. So we have a motion on the floor,
Second motion?
second, by Mr. Lockhart. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes yes. So your special permit has been approved. We wish you well, good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Like I said, it's easier, when we come back and we've approved something like this before, and then we see the new one. Every time we see something better that we approved before, it makes it a little easier for us. So we applaud you for that, and good luck. I wish you well.
Okay, thank you. We make it look nice.
You're welcome, good luck.
Gotta be cleaned up, yeah.
Moving along, any other board members have any other businesses or notices from the boards they sit on, or correspondences?
Yes, I have a report, Mr. Chairman. The Historic Board is going through a number of changes in people. And I want to bring everybody up to date with that. We had an election at the last meeting last week. We have a new chairman. His name is Jeffrey Harris. He works for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Department of Conservation and Recreation. Jeff has been on the board for a number of years. He served under me as a vice chair for a number of years. We have as a new vice chair, Kerry Reagan Janess, who is a local attorney, and she represents the Greater Lowell Bar Association. That all kind of leads up to, and the rest of the board remains the same. Each year, we convene in the downtown Lowell Historic District, and we take a walking tour of the downtown both to teach the new people on the board what minimum maintenance standards mean. Minimum maintenance standards exist for the improvement and maintenance of downtown buildings, storefronts. Might involve painting, new signage, whatever it might be, but there's a minimum maintenance requirement for a downtown Lowell historic business and building owner to maintain. And it's up to the historic board to administer those standards and to make sure they're met through various means. We meet on a monthly basis and review those that are negligent and take appropriate action. And it's an important part of the historic board agenda that I don't think a lot of people realize. Steve Stoll does a great job at administering all of that besides the regular development issues that we run across. Our next meeting is July 8th, where I think we are going to review another proposal from National Grid for their building on School Street and Rock Street, that big arcade. We saw some pretty neat stuff at this meeting where they want to demolish it, of course, and we're making them. If you want to demolish it, you got to improve the site, compensate for that demolition, and they're really trying to do a good job and be a good neighbor and provide us with meaningful renditions, which they did. That's all I have.
Any other comments from planning board members? If not, anything from staff? If not, we can use a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
All in favor, say aye.
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 Chair votes yes, motion to adjourn has been approved. We are adjourned. Good luck and thank you, everyone.